You know, before I get into the meat of this video, there's a few things that I need to say up front that will, of course, serve as the intro to this masterpiece. And, of course, you have seen the title. Now, as many of you are aware who've seen last week's Rabbit Hole production, y'all know that this is indeed part two to that April Mason saga. This is the politically correct rant. But what's coming down the pipe for this weekend's Rabbit Hole production is going to be a very unique video where actually it may be two videos. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it. But what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to share with y'all 3 separate clips. Clip 1, clip 2, and clip 3. And then I'm going to come after those clips and give you my commentary on clip 1, clip 2, and clip 3. And all I can tell y'all about the clips is, once again, I'm going to sit it in your lap. I'm going to just sit it in your lap. Y'all know me. I don't have no problem repeating myself. Repetition is the mother of skill. I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again till you get it. I do not argue with Negroes, and I do not argue with Negroes who are disgruntled ex-fans. The only thing that I can do for you is sit it in your lap and tell you this is what I'm talking about. I'm not going to bicker with you. I'm not going to fuss back and forth with you. I'm not going to try to prove my points to you and prove, no, I'm not doing none of that. I'll take the information and I'll sit in your lap and allow you to view it for yourself. Clip 1, clip 2, and clip 3. I'm going to show you the clips, and then I'm going to come behind those 3 clips and give you my commentary on each one. More evidence to just show you, listen, at some point y'all got to get this. You know what it is, second nature like breathing. If you want to see these 3 clips and you want to hear the commentary, you know what it is, second nature like breathing. Send me an email, I most certainly will get you the link. And of course you have seen the title. You know, I've said this, and I actually think I've done a video on it. And many of you who follow my channel and are aware, y'all know that I am a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fanatic. Win, lose, or draw, that's my squad. Y'all know I am a Michigan guy. Win, lose, or draw, I'm sport Michigan. You also should know that I am a Duke basketball fan. And one of the reasons why I really like Duke is because of Coach K. And I've done a video on an article that I read some time ago. And this is what really made me start liking the guy. Is Coach K did an interview, And he talked about when he goes to a player, when he's trying to recruit a basketball player to come to Duke, and he goes to visit their home, he said the one thing that he looks for is if there's a father in the home. He said he looks to see when he goes to visit that family and to visit that young man that he's trying to recruit to come to Duke to play basketball, he looks to see if there's a father actively in that home. And then Coach K went on to say that what it has been his experience that when you coach players who had fathers in the home, they're easy to coach, they're coachable. If you have to discipline them, they take the discipline, they don't sit around and pout. And in the entire tenure of the great Coach K, I believe he may have only recruited maybe, it might be on a hand, it might be 3 or 4 guys who came from single parent homes. The majority of the guys that he looks for, he says he looks for them to come from a 2-parent household because of the way that those young men are when he tries to coach them. Because, listen, if you have a when I tried out for basketball, and I can remember the coach explaining to us, there's guys who made the team. They weren't that good. And oftentimes, you know how we are, guys get together and they laugh now, how did this dude make the team? You know, we're in the locker room, you know, banter. And you know, we're joking around and we're asking ourselves, how did he make the team? Because he's not that good. I mean, as a matter of fact, he stinks. But see, what I understand now that I didn't understand then is that if you have a player who is coachable, he may not have the best talent. He may not be there yet. But if he is coachable and he's willing to put in the work, he's willing to listen, he's willing to study, he's willing to try to improve. If he can do all of that and he's coachable, most coaches will put them on the team. And they would much rather have a player who has less ability, but he is coachable, than a guy who has all the skills and you can't tell him jack. So I understand now why those guys, when we looked at them, we said they're not that good, you know, they really stink, but how did they make the team? Because the coach felt I can coach them. And if they listen to my teaching, if they listen to my coaching, one day I can develop them because they have the raw ability, but they just need to be coached. So I'm going to put them on the team for that reason. What am I saying? When you look at this entire cadre of black women, and I could call the roll, y'all can call the roll better than I can because y'all watch that content. I don't watch it. But what you have in y'all's colored sector of YouTube and in on colored social media is you have a cadre of black femininity coaches, life coaches, fix my life coaches, who have all thrown in the towel when it comes down to black women. They've given up. They said, I quit. Just like April Mason said, we talked about it last week, she said she's done. And there's a whole cadre of other black women who at one point tried to coach black women, tried to teach black women. But what they have all come to find out is that A, you can't coach them, and B, You can't save them. And this is the reason why I asked the question that's the title of the video. Can they all be wrong? Can they all be wrong? Can all of these women who have thrown in the towel when it comes down to trying to help this black female, April Mason being the latest, can they all be wrong? Because I'm going to tell you something that my mother used to tell me and my brothers and sisters. And she was constantly saying, listen, if you have people saying the same thing about you, and none of these people know each other, so they didn't get together and try to put together their stories so that they can all match. These are people who come from different walks of life, different age brackets, different economic brackets, different educational levels. If you have all of these people, and the only thing they have in common is that they all have encountered you, and yet they all come up with the same conclusion, there's some truth to what they're saying. That's what my mother used to say. If you got a bunch of people who don't know each other and they're saying the exact same thing about you, there's some truth in it. And you got all these coaches, April Mason being the latest, who's all come to the same conclusion about this black female. You can't coach her, and you can't save her. And I asked the question, can they all be wrong? Are they all wrong? See, and we covered this a little bit. Like I said, this is the politically correct rant here. But the sisters, you know, they have this misguided, you know, and I told y'all, every one of their talking points can be debunked by history. If you just have a textbook understanding of history, most of what they say you can debunk. It can be easily debunked. History debunks most of their talking points. You have them now saying that when it comes down to that femininity piece, and don't worry, I'm going to get to what she said here in a minute. But when it comes down to that femininity piece, the black woman says, and the divestors and the swirlers say, we can't be feminine because black men put us at the forefront of marches and protests, which forced us to be masculine. And this is the reason why they pushed that whole notion, black women stay home, when you had these most recent, protests taking place, when the George Floyd incident took place, and you had protests all over the globe. All over the globe, man. But yet and still you had black women pushing a hashtag, black woman stay home. Because we're tired of black men using us as mules, putting us at the forefront of these marches. And this is what they claim black men do. And then we hide behind them. This is propaganda. This is what you call propaganda. Why? Because history easily debunks this. Because then you have to ask those who push that narrative, what do you say about Angela Davis? Angela Davis, who has written many things, but she's also very harsh on the sexism that black women like herself endured during the Black Power movement. And they talked about that duality of the black woman dealing with racism and sexism. Now, we know who she was dealing with racism from. Who was she dealing with sexism from? In the Black Power movement. She was talking about black men. And why did black women experience sexism in the Black Power movement from black men? Black men didn't want them there. So this notion that black men put them out front and hid behind them is poppycock because it's debunked by history. Study your history. I keep telling y'all this. I keep telling y'all, study your history. Most of these women who bump their gums, when you listen to them, you know she doesn't know her history. But I come back and I ask the question, since you have a laundry list of black women who have thrown in the towel, who has given up the ghost and said, you know what, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. They can't be coached and they can't be saved. And I'm asking the question, can they all be wrong? And now that Miss April Mason has thrown in the towel, the very same women, you got to catch this. This here is what I say about black people. And you can read her posts. The very same women who supported her, bought her courses, attended her seminars, complimented her on her weight loss, talked about how beautiful she is. The very same women who done all of that when she was saying shit that they liked, now that she done said some shit that these black women don't want to digest, what do? They say she's old, she's a lesbian, she's had plastic surgery. See, what April Mason is finding out is she's finding out the fickleness of black people, because these are black women doing this to her. But I'm here to tell you, that's just not germane to black women. That's niggas too. Black men do that shit too. And I've told y'all in many of my videos, many of the niggas that sit back and try to bicker and argue with me and try to fuss with me are the very same savages who have donated to the rabbit hole, who have sent me emails trying to engage me, trying to talk to me. Starstruck Negroes are the very same ones now that I'd have said something that they don't like, want to sit back and try to argue. That's how black people are. And this is the reason why I tell y'all, I'm not going to let you Negroes put me up on no pedestal. Because I know y'all like the back of my hand. The very same Negroes who will put me up on a pedestal will be the ones snatching it out from underneath me and watching me crash to the ground. That's the reason why when y'all put me up there, as soon as y'all turn y'all's back, I'm climbing back down. And then y'all looking up there looking for me. Where did he go? Where did he go? Just like that cartoon. Where did he go? Where did he go? And then y'all looking around. I'm standing right there in the crowd with y'all. I'm not letting y'all leave me up there. I don't trust you niggas like that. I know how fickle y'all are. I know how sometimey y'all are. I know how two-faced that y'all are. And what she's finding out now that she has come to the conclusion that the whole, you can read, hey, listen, you have Fix My Life, you have other femininity coaches, y'all can call the list, leave their names in the comment thread. Y'all know who I'm talking about. All these women have come to the same conclusion when it comes down to this black queen. When it comes down to this Afro-American female, they have all drawn the same conclusion. You cannot save her. And that's why I go back to my original point with the Duke basketball and how he only loves to coach children who are coachable, who are willing to be taught, who want to learn. You ask any teacher, any teacher will tell you, man, I get excited when I have a classroom full of students who want to learn. They want to hear what I have to teach them. That excites a teacher. A teacher don't want to sit up in a classroom full of a bunch of savages who don't want to learn. Why are you here? And that's the reason why they're always kicking them out the class. You go to the principal's office. You're stopping those who want to learn from learning. That's the importance of being teachable. This black woman ain't teachable. And one of the reasons why they all have found out that she's not teachable It's because she always blames somebody else for her failure. First, she said it was black men. Black men are the reason why 70% of us are chronically single. Black men are the reason why we're not getting married. Black men don't want to get married. And then they go to that same old tired talking point due to homicide, jail, homosexuality, pastors. They're not in the dating marriageable pool. So now they're not dealing with black men, and they're dealing with God. They're dealing with the white man. So now their numbers should shrink, right? But no, they're not shrinking. They're remaining the same. I actually believe it's higher. So now, what do you blame that to? You have divested, you have gotten everything that society said you need to have to make you an eligible candidate to do, as Beyonce say, have somebody put a ring on it. You educated, you're entrepreneur, you own your own business, you got your own shit, you drive your own car, you living your best life, you all that in a bag of chips, but you're single. And then when you finally do find a white man, when he finally wakes up and sees you for who and what you are, he's dipping too. We covered that last week. And see, the black woman don't want to do, now if you play sports, you know this. And you'll see this in football. You see it in basketball. If the guard in basketball passes the ball to his center, what is he supposed to do? He don't just stand there and watch. What is he supposed to do? He's supposed to make a back cut towards the basket. So the center's looking, he's expecting that guard to make that back cut, so he drops the pass, but the guard ain't there. So what does the guard do? He looks to the center and taps his chest and let him know, hey, that's on me. That's my mistake. That's my mistake. We'll get it the next time. In football, if a wide receiver runs the wrong route, he'll look back at his quarterback. Hey, that's me. I ran the wrong route. I got it. I'll get it the next time. That's on me. But see, the black woman never looks and say, you know what? That's my bad. I did this. It's on me. No, she never does this. You know why? Because she thinks she's perfect. Everybody knows that she's not. That's why she has to have all these dating coaches. But yet and still, she never owns up to her own shit. That means that she's not coachable. She's not teachable. And that's what these women have all found out. That's the reason why I'm asking the question, can they all be wrong? It ain't me saying this shit. It's them saying it. Every last one of those women who have quit, thrown in the towel, gave up the ghost, said, I'm out of here, I ain't doing this no more, have all drawn the same conclusion. You cannot teach her, and you cannot coach her, you cannot save her. The only one that's still trying to save her is a dumbass nigga. There you go. The pro-black, back to Africa, black first nigga. He's the only one. Run around talking about the black woman is God. You sound like a goddamn fool. Meanwhile, she sits back and, oh my God, let me take a sip of this because this, where we at? Okay, I got time. Let me take a sip of this. You hear these heifers. And remember now, this is the politically correct rant. This is what we can say on YouTube that will survive. In the 3 clips that I'm going to show you, we're going to cover some of this because some of those clips overlap with this. I'm not going to tell y'all what the clips are. They're 3 hard clips. I'm going to show you the clips, and I'm going to give you my commentary. Email, I'll send you the link. But you got these women, and and when I hear this shit, I just chuckle. And they talk about submission. They talk about submission. They don't want to submit to the black man. And I try to explain to Negroes. It's like talking to a brick wall. I try to explain to them, listen, y'all, listen, hear me and hear me well. The next time that y'all hear anybody, be it male or female, talking about submission and they are not married, stop listening to them. I'm serious. Stop listening to them because they don't know what they're talking about. The idea of a woman submitting to her husband, as I told y'all, is a Christian concept. It comes from the Bible. And the only time submission comes into play is when you are married. And not only just married, but you're married in a Christian marriage. If you're married and y'all don't consider neither one of y'all are Christian, then that don't even come into play then. But as far as the Christian is concerned, when that guy marries that woman, according to y'all's Bible, the only criteria that he has to fulfill for her to submit to him is that he loves her like Christ loves the church. If he does that, she must submit to him, according to y'all's Bible. And I told y'all, this is what pastors and preachers need to be telling these women. They're not, and we know why they're not, but this is what they should be telling them. Listen, if you can't submit to that dude and he's a janitor and you're a college professor, don't marry him. If he dropped out in the 6th grade and you got your advanced degree, don't marry that dude, because if he loves you unconditionally like Christ loved the church, you still have to submit to him. That's what pastors should be telling these women, but they're not telling them that. And we know why. And then the black woman comes back because she really don't want to submit to black men. And she said, well, I will if he protects me and he provides for me. Well, that's all included in him loving you like Christ loved the church. If he loves you like Christ loved the church, he's going to protect you. He's going to provide for you. So all of that is under that umbrella. But now that's only if you are married, baby. And you're married in a Christian marriage. If you're just bumping around listen, if guys that you are having booty calls with, you are not obligated to submit to them. That coworker that had you in the boiler room, let me leave that alone, man. Let me stop, because y'all get my point. Y'all get my point. See, so they don't even understand what submission is, but yet they're bumping their gums about it. And this is why I'm telling y'all, all of these women have all came to the same conclusion, man. You can't save them. You can't coach them. You can't teach them, man. And April Mason said, listen, I'm going to start dealing with these brothers because they're coachable. They're teachable. Now, I have some issues with that, but that's a subject for another video. You know, I know why, Miss April, they're listening to you, and I don't think it has anything to do with what you're saying. I think it may have something to do with you showing off those big-ass legs, but, you know, that's just me. I mean, I happen to believe that you will get a lot of guys' attention when you put on a tight skirt with those big, humongous-ass legs that she has. But, you know, again, that's a subject for another video. I mean, I'm not blind. I mean, I'm not, if I'm sitting outside the cigar shop with some buddies and we smoking sticks and she walked by, yes, I'm going to look. Most certainly, yes, I'm going to check her out. But get up and try to talk to her? No, baby, not me. Better him than me. I'll sit here 10 times out of 10. I'm taking these sticks. But the question still remains. Can they all be wrong? Can Miss Fix My Life, can April Mason, and these other women who all thrown in the towel, can all of them be wrong, man? Can all of them be wrong? And again, I have to go back to what my mother used to tell us. Listen, if they all saying the same thing about your black ass, and there's times she said it just like that. If they're all saying the same thing about your black ass, there's some truth to what they're saying. Everybody's not going to lie on you. And everybody who has dealt with this black woman have came to the same conclusion. And now you have white men who realize that, you know what, man, there's some truth to what these brothers been saying, man. I see it. But oftentimes for them, it's too late. They done already got you in a marriage. They done already got a half-breed mongrel baby out of you. So it's too late for you now. 10 times out of 10, you should have taken those sticks. Or do like her co-workers do, get her in the bottom of that boiler room and... Hey, you know what? Let me stop, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to wrap this video up because I keep tiptoeing around it because the reason why that is because I'm going to do the whole after I do this video. And I know what those 3 clips are. And those 3 clips, I'm telling y'all, man, when y'all see these 3 clips, and y'all know me, I don't, when I tell you it's something you got to see to believe, y'all seen the one that I showed y'all last week. I told y'all it's going to make your blood boil, man. What happened to that little girl, it's sickening. It was truly sickening. But these 3 clips are going to equal that. You know what it is. Second is you like breathing. Send me an email. I'll get you the link. Because at the end of the day,